guys, Nash Battle here with another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Today we will be watching a battle between me and a viewer named Nash. This was a interesting battle in which I made some horrible moves, half not paying attention, half because, well, let's face it, I'm an idiot. But a quick thing I do want to talk about is for everybody raging about Tears and Smogon and stuff like that, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out here. From now on, when we do Wi-Fi battles, I will be playing OU and under, because anytime I use Mega Gengar, it's a shitstorm in the comments. Granted, I still have about like 5 or 6 more battles where I didn't abide by, well, I didn't officially announce this rule, but, I mean, I pretty much abided by it anyway. But, I mean, apparently, I need to abide by Tears. Other people don't, but whatever. Nobody wins, so let's go ahead and let's watch this Wi-Fi battle. Okay, let's go in here. So, like I said, I made some dumb plays, mainly with my Whimsicott, because I wasn't paying attention, I didn't realize what was going on. But yeah, that was all on my part, so I take full blame for that. I'm not just going to upload battles where I just sweep or I dominate or things like that. If a battle, if I just think is good, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to upload. So he leads with his Whimsicott, taunts Lucy, the Klefki, and I'm like, well, that's going to suck. So, switches out the Whimsicott because I'm already falling for the taunt. He sends out Macha, his Talonflame, that Talonflame. So I'm like, all right, Lucy ain't gonna do a bit of good against this Talonflame, especially with taunted. So in goes Edward Ulrich. So we both had a switch right here. He switches out because he knows that he's not gonna be able to take a Thunderbolt from this thing. So in comes Foxy Cleo once again. I was hoping for a switch, so actually, oh wait, no, I wasn't hoping for a switch. Well, I wasn't really sure, so I went with something neutral. So I went with a Thunder Wave, so if he switches back into his Whimsicott, it can at least slow it down, or slowing down a Talonflame is going to be good. Edward Ulrich in with the Flamethrower. Whimsicott, the 100% Wrath is now 1000% dead. Nothing feels better than taking out a Staller in one turn. It's like, okay, that just saved me 2 hours. Now this thing, Billy, the Go-Goat, is what gave me a ton of trouble, mainly because I'm an idiot. So I hit it with the Flamethrower. I want to see what it could do. Apparently this thing has got some good defense, or special defense, because I hit it with a critical, super effective black belt, or not black belt, expert belt Flamethrower, and it only does half damage. Hits me with that leech. I'm like, alright, I'm going to keep him in because he already took out a Whimsicott, so let me see what one more Flamethrower can do. Still wasn't enough, so I'm like, you know what, actually, let me try and switch him out, and this is where I made the huge mistake. I sent in 100%. I sent in my Whimsicott. So, here's where it gets dumb. Hits me with the Horn Leech. Doesn't really do too much, but he does get a decent amount of HP back, which, God, that thing was so aggravating. So we got Annoyer versus Annoyer. So I eat up some leftovers. I get some HP back. I send in the Substitute. I'm going for the typical Whimsicott play. So out goes the Substitute. He hits me with a Rock Slide because it's not going to be super effective, but it's not going to be not very effective either. It's better than hitting me with Grass, I guess, the Rock Slide. But the Substitute does not fade, which is nice. So I was feeling good because I'm like, hey, I got a Substitute out. Sweet stuff. Hit it with the Leech Seed. And Billy gets the Sap Sipper. I was not aware of the Sap Sipper, and not only that, at that point I wasn't really paying attention, so all I knew was that I hit it with the Leech Seed. I didn't really see anything happen. I was a little confused and I was thrown off. I did not realize that it was the ability. I just saw its attack rise, so I don't really know what I was doing then. I was so busy fapping away. But yeah, and like I said, I didn't really pay attention, so I kept Whimsicott in like an idiot, and I literally wasted 100% on this thing. So in goes the Substitute, hits me with a critical hit, Substitute fades, so that was a waste of a Substitute. He gets some of that health back, and I'm like, dude, this thing, I did not know Go-Goat was viable in any way, but apparently Go-Goat is super viable if you play against an idiot that isn't paying attention. So as you can see, I tried to hit it with a Giga Drain, and once again, Sap Sipper kicks in, and attack goes up, and no damage is done, and I'm like, wait, that's freaking Sap Sipper. I've been shooting myself in the foot this entire time. I can't believe what an idiot I am. So at this point, it's either next turn or the one after that. I threw in a Substitute, didn't have enough HP because, oh god, I think at that point I still wasn't sure about the Substitute thing, where it tells you, where it lets you click the Substitute even though you don't have enough HP. It tells you mid-attack. But at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to waste Whimsicott. I shot myself in the foot, and I'm just going to follow through and let this thing die out because I deserve that for not paying attention. So out comes Buccaneer, my Caesar, sends Macha back out. So we got Caesar versus Talonflame. I had already chosen the Mega Evolve, so I exposed the Mega pretty early on, but I'm like, yeah, you know what, it's not too big a deal. I think that was my only real potential Mega anyway. I forgot what my team is, whatever. Already had a Bullet Punch ready, so that does something, so at least there's that, but I'm like, nope, there ain't no way I'm keeping Buccaneer in here where you sneeze fire at him, and he is just like, oh, too much. So hits me with the Flare Blitz on Lucy after I change out because, like, Lucy, I don't know. It's not going to do too much, but Lucy I'm okay with losing. Took the hit quite well. So he hits me with the Priority Brave Bird thinking that he could outdo my Prankster, which it does, but hits me with it, eats up the hit quite nicely with just enough HP left to throw up the Toxic. So we've got a Poison Talonflame, and that is a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful thing. Hurt badly by that poison. So what happens? Oh, so I set up the spikes because I guess they figured, hey, well, I don't have the priority, and they let me set up the spikes, which honestly, another Brave Bird probably would have done the job. So there was a free turn of spikes right there. So Lucy Poison Talonflame, set up the spikes. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling good. You did your job when I was just going to kind of send you out as maybe a one-turn sacrifice. So, hell yeah, Lucy. Highest of fives go to you. So, Maka the Talonflame is poison. So, I go in and I send in Juvia. I send in the Wrath of the Drip, Drop, Drip. And I honestly was really dumb and should have predicted a switch. Sends out Billy. Go-Goat is back out here. I go ahead and I hit it with the Aqua Jet thinking, oh, I'll just get priority. But it's hit by the spikes and I hit it with the Aqua Jet. This is a decent amount of damage considering it's not very effective because that huge power Juvia is here to just Aqua Rape everyone. So back out comes Buccaneer. Mega Caesar is on the field. Hits me with the Horn Leech. Thing can be super effective, obviously. Does nothing. Eats it up. Give me that Horn Leech. I will throw it on dessert, put it on my tab. I will leave you a lovely 30% tip because you have just been so good to me. Hit it with the Bullet Punch. Barely enough, but down goes Billy. You have a fantastic night, good sir. So, Billy's down. Sends Macha back out. Talonflame. And that, I like totally spaced out there because that threw me off again because I was like, I don't know why I did not see the roost coming. So I hit it with the Bullet Punch. It's like, yeah, okay, that's not gonna do nothing, but it's hurt by the poison. And again, I honestly, I don't use Talonflame, and honestly, I don't fight as many as I used to. I don't see it too much anymore, which I really appreciate, so I didn't really see the roost coming. So I send in, my first time using this, my Clawitzer, Scrimp Biscuit, which I don't know how much I like Clawitzer, but I must say this is my favorite nickname I've ever thought of. So Scrimp Biscuit's on the field, hit with recoil, and I ate up that Flare Blitz quite nicely, but I am burned, but he is a special attacker, so that's not really going to affect too much. It's not going to be too bad. Plus, this thing's poison, so I'm like, I could go for the obvious and hit it with, I could make it rain on it, but I was like, you know what, there's probably a switch coming out, let me do something neutral, and that worked out actually really well for me, because he switched out into his Espeon, hurt by the spikes, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna work lovely, because I hit it with the Dark Pulse, ba-boom, all the way down into the red, eating on some leftovers, and I don't even know. Sorry, I'm like really tired right now, and I'm just kind of babbling out my ass. But either way, Scrimp gets hurt by the burn, throws up a light screen, so I'm like, all right, you can raise some defense before, or some special defense before that thing goes down, which is fine. Hit it with another Dark Pulse. Obviously, not nearly enough HP to eat that up. So down goes Espeon, and Espeon is something I hate fighting because of all the abilities. I always have such a hard time with it. So, hard time with Whimsicott, hard time with Espeon, taking them down pretty quickly. I felt pretty good about it. So that burn is just eating me up. So it sends out Licky D's, the Greninja, the Protean Greninja, obviously, and I'm like, you know what? This thing is just, I'm just gonna let it take me out because I didn't like really how Clawitzer was working. So I was just being a bitch, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? Screw you, Clawitzer. I wasn't too stoked with how you did. So at this point, I can't really figure out why I sent out Edward Eelric, because I knew it was going to outspeed me, and it didn't have a lot of HP left. So, hits me with the Dark Pulse, down goes Edward Eelric, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing with my life? Again, this whole battle, I made some pretty poor calls. But out comes Juvia, and I'm like, you know what? I do have some kind of priority. Let's hit it with an Aqua Jet, see what it does. Does so much. It's a lovely amount of damage, especially, well, obviously it wasn't water type anymore. Eat up that grass knot quite nicely, considering it's coming from that thing. So, One more Aqua Jet, that's gonna do the trick. That Greninja is usually a big threat whenever I don't have something super easy to counter it with, which I didn't. So I'm like, hey, Juvia, let's see what you got. And does the job quite nicely. So out comes Big Mama, ban Kangaskhan, and like I said, at this point I hadn't made an official statement that I'm playing by OU and under. So here comes the Mega Kangaskhan, and I'm like, you know what, it's okay, we're gonna have a Mega off, let's have a Mega fight. This is gonna be good, this is gonna be a good time. But like I said, I'm abiding by no Ubers are banned, or everything under that, so it would be nice if you guys did too. Goes for the Sucker Punch, but obviously I switched out, so it's gonna fail. Switches out again, Kangaskhan goes out, and back out comes Macha, thinking that, you know, maybe we can prioritize. But that was my free Swords Dance, which I really appreciated. Thank you very much. Hurt by the poison. So I'm like, you know what? This thing isn't going to have priority over the Bullet Punch. Let's go ahead and pimp smack that thing. And down it goes. Talon Flame. More like Talon Lame. Because I killed it. Dead. So out comes Big Mama. Mega Kangaskhan's back out on the field. That switch out really just did... it might have been... The spikes probably helped me a lot more than they should have, but there's a lot of switching, so hey, whatever, we can't do. Sucker Punches me twice. Ugh, what am I doing? Bullet Punch. I'm just saying what's happening at this point. But I'm Swords Dance, so I'm like, I'll hit it with another Bullet Punch. Didn't get a Sucker Punch ready, because that wouldn't be enough to take me out. So, even though this honestly was a bad battle on my part, I made a lot of bad calls, and I wasn't thinking this whole time. Actually, I realized it made it hard to do commentary because I was watching this back and I'm just like, what the hell was I doing? But either way, came back in the end, barely made it. So good game, Nash. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for participating. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And once again, abiding by the tiers because y'all don't leave me alone. And I like listening to you guys for some reason because I like your faces and y'all are very nice. So I'm going to go. Oh God. I dropped stuff. That's a good time to leave. Goodbye!